Welcome back to Casual Bias Rugby. Aiden, I feel bad. We missed last weekend's episode when it came to the Super Rugby, so we have to apologize to the audience that actually watches that. So we've integrated the Super Rugby with the fan forum that we also do on a weekly basis, which we also didn't do last week. Okay, so that's why we've got Jake here as well. So on the fan forum, Aiden, you haven't joined since we started this, but Jake's giving us weekly updates on his fitness journey. Because he was a fat sack of shit before, and I started jogging like every second to third day. But the surprise attack is destroying burgers every time he does it. So Jake, last week or the week before, you said, listen, like, you're starting on the journey. How's it been going the past 2 weeks?
Yeah, I've been resting my legs the last week. Like last night, I should have gone Tuesday because last night I went out and had a few bevs and had a curry. So that didn't really help my case. So after this is finished, if we finish early, maybe I'll go.
I guess. So it's one of those scenarios where Jake has started this journey, but he's picked up weight.
Yeah.
Strange thing. Aiden, brother, haven't spoke to you in a bit. How you doing, man?
Yeah, man, it's been a little while. Apologies to the fans for missing last week. We had an error with our planning between Casual and I, so whoops.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, I predicted every game perfectly, by the way, from round 9. So just wanted to put that out there. Absolutely nailed it. Casual got them all wrong. So you clearly know who's the better Super Rugby content creator. But we're back. We're talking about Super Rugby. Some good things and some bad things, but we'll get into it.
Well, before we get into the Super Rugby, there's been some controversial statements made. And it's a lovely little talking point. Right? Because obviously, Aiden, me and you, we've been following the Super Rugby our whole life. Obviously, I've gotten more into the European thing since South Africa's moved over. You all always follow the Super Rugby, and you've started getting into the European thing. And Jake's going to be our outside perspective on this whole situation. So we saw Stephen Donald, right? This is regarding Jordi Barrett playing in Leinster, talking about how he shouldn't necessarily just come back into the All Black setup. Maybe he should still be in the squad, but shouldn't have a guarantee 12 position, seeing that he played in Europe, where the URC is a very, very low level compared to the Super Rugby. Now, in my mind, that is outrageous to say, but I've seen some fans actually back it. So, I'm going straight to you. People, if you do like talking a bit of shit when it comes to rugby, that's basically all we do. So hit that like and subscribe button. It's totally free. Aiden, from your QE perspective, what do you think about that?
I just want to start by saying I love you, Stephen Donald. I will never forget what you did in 2011. Homegrown hero from fishing whitebait to winning the World Cup. What a legend. Well, I'm not sure I agree with what he said. Look, I'm a staunch defender of Super Rugby, and this year it's been taking a lot of flack from stuff previous about not being as competitive a league. And I posted a video about comparing a couple of the leagues before, but in no way in any of those videos was I trying to make the point that the URC or the Premiership, for example, was a lower level competition, because it's just simply not true. They're different, and they do play different styles of rugby, but different does not equal better or worse. Different equals different. And I think I watched that breakdown when it came out, and I was watching along, and as soon as he said it, I went, oh, that's going to go big. And obviously wake up the next day, you see the news plastered everywhere. I'm like, oh, I knew this was going to happen. And
the thing is, not even just him. There was another pundit that also agreed.
Yeah, I think it was Joe Wheeler. And Jeff Wilson, to his credit, disagreed. So big up Jeff Wilson. He did disagree with that statement. But
you know, when Jeff Wilson's the voice of reason, you're in trouble. Like
always good. It's John Kerwin that usually stirs the pot.
I love JK. I absolutely love and adore JK. He's a character. He reminds me of like the punditry Eddie Jones.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, let's be real. Everyone with a level head, regardless of if you watch URC or you prefer Super Rugby or either comp, neither is levels above. The only thing that is levels above is the top teams in each comp. I think it's pretty obvious to say that teams like Leinster and Toulouse in the top 14 are, sort of clear as club teams go. But I do agree with the statement that Jordi Barrett shouldn't walk into the starting 12 jersey. Like, there should be no guarantees for All Blacks because that's not how it works. But I do think there is no one playing better rugby than him in the inside centre position at the moment. So while I wouldn't guarantee him the spot, I don't think anyone is unseating him from that position.
Okay. Jake, do you want to go first before I give my point of view?
No, you go first. So
I just disagree a little bit with what you said there in that last sentence. For me, he's guaranteed that spot in 12. I think you have phenomenal 12s and stuff, but also because his body of work before that. So my big thing was like, it feels like that statement disregards everything, all the other years that he's kind of played for the All Blacks, right? Like, he's been absolutely sensational for the All Blacks. He's vice captain as well. Like, I'm putting this in perspective of, let's say if this was the Springboks. Does Damian de Linde need to prove himself once again just because he signed a couple of months deal abroad? Cheslin Colby, Jevon Etzebeth, Handré Pollard. Do they have to reprove themselves just because they played in a different league? The thing is, he didn't even go, like, I would say maybe the Japanese league is a bit lower than the European and the Southern Hemisphere leagues, right? But not even they would have to prove themselves again because of their body of work previously. Like, even though some of these guys in the Super Rugby has been absolutely sensational, it's not like Jordi Barrett's been playing scrubs, right? Even if the URC was like a very, very low level compared, I think he hasn't even played more than 3 games in the URC. He's played about 6 or 7 in the Champions Cup, which is against the likes of a Toulouse, Bordeaux, Harlequins, La Rochelle, those type of teams. So I just think it was a bit of a brain fart comment. Like, it was backed on absolutely nothing. And if you say it's very low level compared, what's the measuring stick surrounding that? Like, what did we use to measure that at all? Because I think the Champions Cup top 8 will definitely compete with the Super Rugby, even better probably in my opinion. And the URC top 8 would give the Super Rugby top 8 a run for their money, even though it's 2 totally different games nearly that they play. But that's just my opinion surrounding it. So it's like, I still think he's guaranteed that spot because he's playing for Leinster, which is by far the best team in the URC. That just tells you how good he is. You can't just disregard everything that was done previously.
Yeah, so I just wanted to butt back in before Jake comes through with his opinion. It was when I say that was no dig at Jake, by the way. I just wanted to get in. When I say not guaranteed, I don't mean it because of the competition he's playing in, or because he's obviously in great form as well. But I don't think any player in any position could just get in on name alone, right? Like, if he wasn't playing at all, so obviously he is playing in the US and he's playing well. He's playing Champions Cup. He's playing well. But if he wasn't playing at all, he shouldn't just start because his name's Jordi Barrett. I think he should start because he's playing better than any other 12 that we have that is a New Zealander. That's why I think he should start. But the idea of a guaranteed spot, unless you're, I don't know, prime Dan Carter coming back from injury, I don't think anyone gets in on name alone, especially in an All Blacks team that's, its selection is slightly different to maybe other international teams where it's more about the jersey than the player. So, yeah. Anyways, that's my 2 cents on it.
No, fair enough. I just misread then what you meant. But that's totally fair. Like, you want competition for the different positions out there and stuff. Just thought, like, that's a crazy statement to make. Like, the guy's your vice captain. Seriously. Yeah. Come on now. Jake, what's your thoughts on the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with both of you. I think Jordi Barrett is going to be, starter. If you want a strongest All Black squad and you're choosing next week, he has to be on there starting. But doesn't mean going forward he can't be dropped for games. And I think ultimately, once he's in that All Black environment, training with other 12s and 13s, whatever, you can decide then who starts. But I don't, talking about the actual what he'd said, URC a lower level. I mean, I don't believe that. I think what he meant to say is URC is lower level than the Premiership. But no, obviously, I don't think the URC is lower than the Super Rugby, or Super Rugby's higher, whatever. It doesn't really matter though. I think it's somewhat right that Jordi Barrett is performing better for Leinster than he did for the Highlanders. But I just think anyone will look better playing for Leinster than the Hurricanes. Sorry.
Check yourself.
We almost booted off Jake mid-episode.
Hurricanes. I think anyone will look better playing for Leinster than a Super Rugby team or a team that's not Leinster, because the team is so stacked. You just made to look better. And yes, people say he didn't look as good in Super Rugby, therefore Super Rugby's harder. I think the team is the best club team in the world right now, in my opinion, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I've seen a lot from the New Zealand point of view that Jordi Barrett's playing better over there, so he wasn't as good back in New Zealand. I don't know where they're getting that from, because in 2024, Jordi Barrett and Billy Proctor were the best centre pairing in Super Rugby, and it wasn't close.
By a mile.
They were so good. And that was the whole reason why people were calling for Billy Proctor to play more games as an All Black. He got one game against Fiji and San Diego. I mean, Casual and I were begging for him to get more games. So it's not like he's dropped out of form all of a sudden. And New Zealand fans, where I will be hypercritical, the biggest downers sometime, man. Like, I feel that they don't watch the game. They see one player have not their greatest performance, and then it's like, bang, get him out. And
if they just watched the performance against Glasgow, where he basically did everything himself, right?
He was in an Irish team full of the Irish international team, who we all know is a very good team, and was the best player. Like, it's a difficult thing to do. He's playing sensationally, and it just drives me up the wall.
It's kind of strange, right? Because when he didn't play in the URC, when he hasn't debuted yet, everyone was just talking about Erge Snyman. And Erge Snyman has not dropped his level. He still played sensational rugby. But everyone's talking about Jordi Barrett, right? Just tells you how good he's been in a team full of standout players. So, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. I think it's just something that kind of just slipped out. It is what it is. Like, we're not going to sit here and knock the Super Rugby, because we both advocate, or well, all three of us advocate for Super Rugby, how great it is. Like, in terms of from a watching or from a spectator's view, it's a great thing to watch. Like, we want everyone to watch it. It's in my opinion, the best watch, but it doesn't mean it's better than the other competitions in terms of the rugby being played. But anyway, we digress.
I'd like to make the point that it doesn't really matter what league you're playing and which level you're playing at, I would argue, because if you have the skill set, you're going to perform at international level either way. Like, if you're playing for Leinster, yes, you're playing for Leinster, who are arguably as good as Ireland, but you're playing like Ulster or Harlequins. You're not playing France or England. So if you're good enough, you're going to excel to the international level either way. It doesn't matter what level you're playing. Or you're playing Japanese rugby, like Peter Steph, he doesn't need to be trained up and learn his craft. You know what he's about, and yes, the intensity might not be as good, but when it comes to international time, he's going to do a business. So I don't see the problem what level you're playing at, really. It's almost a decently high one.
It could have been a more interesting discussion surrounding, let's say if New Zealand did the thing that South Africa does, where you can play abroad but also get picked for your country. Let's say if it was the likes of a Leicester Fainganuku, right, where the position could be still up for debate. Maybe there's someone not on form, but now it's like, okay, can we trust Leicester to do the job because he's playing abroad or something like that? But Jordi has cemented his name kind of in that team. That's why he's the vice captain as well. So he's not someone that's really like, okay, well, his position is really up for discussion or debatable or anything. I could have understood it was like that, but Jordi Barrett is so world class that it just feels a bit strange that you had to say that when referring to Jordi Barrett. Like, it's crazy.
I'm convinced now that it's one of those things that he's just sort of said something without really thinking about what he said. Like, I think he was trying to come out with, I could be wrong, but I think he was trying to come out with saying, it's not quite the same as Super Rugby, because it's not different styles of rugby, we can all agree, but it's just come out so poorly. And
do you reckon as soon as he said it, like subconsciously or in his mind, even though he just kept on talking fluently, he was like, fuck, maybe I shouldn't have said that? Yeah. Do you reckon it's one of those?
I mean, it'd have to be, because I don't think you can make that comment if you watch all of the leagues, because it's like, there's no difference, no discernible difference in quality between any of the leagues. And you couldn't say that one was way, way better than the other, or one was way, way worse.
Yeah.
casual, would you say this is sort of a slight New Zealand arrogance coming out here, which is
No.
prevalent in some fans?
They're just trying to stir the pot here, Jake.
Do you know what the reaction has been amongst New Zealand fans or Super Rugby fans, Aidan?
It's very mixed. It's like, I think the level-headed ones, which I hope to consider myself as, can see and be like, yeah, I'm not sure I agree with that. But there's always, I mean, some New Zealand fans are just as bad as any fans in the world, and you listen to it and you see what they say and you're like, you clearly don't watch rugby, or you only watch international rugby, because you can tell they don't understand the difference in the club games, and just because it's a different watch. And I know that grandma who's 76, she ain't getting up at 3 a.m. to watch the URC, but she's commenting how the URC's dog. Like, it's just not right. Like, if you're going to talk smack about something, you better actually go and watch it and have reasons behind why you're talking smack. And since I watch both and even a bit of the Premiership, I know they're not rubbish. I know they're very good competitions. So I just think it's...
Well, maybe 76-year-old Nan has been watching a bit of the Stormers lately. Anyway, moving on.
You'll always get the people, like even South Africans, that will follow certain pundits religiously. Doesn't matter what they say, they'll kind of just back it, and they'll find ways, some of the craziest ways, because South Africans, we're always crazy, right? So you'll find some of the crazy ways to try and back the statement that was just made, even though that is completely wrong, right? So it is what it is. We'll move on. Let's chat about Super Rugby round 11. Now there's a bye for your dark horses, Aidan, but I want to actually just quickly. Hey?
That's a good thing. Didn't they just come off a... Hold on,
and that's exactly why I want to talk about them quickly, right? Because the Waratahs, 2 weeks ago, you looked at me like I was stupid. I told you, 1 week off, 1 week on. The Waratahs never fail. I told you they'll beat the Chiefs. And they went and beat the Chiefs just to the week later go and lose to
the Drua.
The Drua.
Problem, I've just realized their bye week is on their on week.
Yeah, but how do we approach it now?
Do we
discuss it as a good bye week, or as like just the neutral one they're resuming with the good run afterwards?
Oh, I don't know. But my dark horses, at least they're consistent. You know what to do. I might start betting on the fact they're going to win one, lose one, win one, lose one.
Bro, it's ridiculous. It's crazy, because they pulled out a sensational performance against the Chiefs. Like D-Mac at an all-time stinker, right? He really struggled that game. But the Waratahs were great. And then they play against the Drua. Now, fair enough. We know the Drua just don't lose in Fiji. But they didn't even look close to winning that game.
Nah, it's just Lautoka, man. I don't know what it is. It's got like superpowers when they play there. It's like the Eden Park of bloody Super Rugby. It's so crazy that they just turned into this most unbeatable team. And the wins that they have this season aren't against the bottom of the ranked teams. They've got a win over the top-ranked Chiefs in Fiji, and they've got a win over a top-6 team in the Waratahs. But that's it. That's all the wins.
Do you reckon the 2015 All Blacks could give that Drua team a go in Lautoka?
Well, it'd be a draw, I reckon.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
man.
Jake, let's come to your first game of the weekend. It's surprising that this is the first game, because the Force never play early. Chiefs versus the Force. What have you made, Jake, of the Force this far? They've kind of been like these underdog shouts that have just been doing their job. Aidan, we've mentioned it a couple of times. They've just been consistent. They're sitting in 5th. Desana playing some absolutely sensational rugby. Harry Potter's been great. What?
I'm about to talk about them, and you're taking all my points. Like,
okay, go.
Well, also Nick White and Donaldson have been pairing up well, haven't they? Like potential Aussie starting halfback pairing there. So yeah, it's been good. It was a good crowd, I thought, at the Hurricanes game. Maybe a few not traveling, but Kiwis living in Perth. But yeah, I thought that was a good game. They drew in the end, didn't they? They went to Golden Point and then couldn't score anything. But yeah, it would be interesting. Chiefs against the Force. The Force have been travelling brilliantly, if my mind serves me correctly. So yeah, I'd imagine the Chiefs have this pretty comfortably. But I have been enjoying watching the Force this year. And as you said earlier, Tizano, he's been having a mad season this year. And last year I wasn't so sure about him, but yeah, he is playing really well right now.
Yeah, we've mentioned it a couple of times where it's like we speak about the Lucy's of that Australian team going into the British and Irish Lions tour, and it's so tough to pick the three because you've got Rob Valentin, you've got Fraser McWright, and you've got Harry Wilson, which were the three. You don't feel like they have to be dropped, but Carlo Designer has to be there. Is it Charlie Cale from the Brumbies? He's been absolutely sensational. I know he was injured for a little bit, but like fucking hell, they just don't stop.
But it's great. Good. It's great because you need depth, and that's the most important thing, not just your starting back row.
Yeah, add Rob Leota, Charlie Gamble, Sarah Uru. These.
Oh, Sarah Uru's also been very consistent this season.
Yeah, so like the Aussies do not lack depth in that loose forward area, and yeah, I mean Tizano is going to break the try scoring record, full stop for Super Rugby this year, which is nuts.
Who holds that record already? Sorry.
There's a few. It's like I think it's tied at 12. Like Hoskins Satutu has it. There's another. I can't remember who the other.
Is this a try scoring record for the forward? Sorry, or for a forward?
Yeah, I believe so for the forward. Sorry, but Hoskins
surprising
Satutu,
that it's not a hooker.
Cody Taylor's there for one of the seasons that he has it. But yeah, he tied the record halfway through the season. Like what's going on? He's just been everywhere
because he keeps finding himself at the back of their maul.
Yeah, that's why he's been telling the hooker to move aside, let me take the rolling maul. He's got himself triple captained every week in fantasy. That's why he wants points,
bro. It is crazy. Even though the hooker's already also scored a hat trick with maul tries. What's going on?
Yeah, that's crazy. Anyways, back to the game and Chiefs Force. Chiefs looking good again. D-Mac back. He's out this weekend though, so Josh Jacob taking the number 10 spot. Very class player. He's been playing really well this year, and I think there's just too many good players in that Chiefs team to lose at home. And as you said, the Force haven't travelled particularly well this year, so I would say the Chiefs not super comfortably just because losing D-Mac's not great, but they've got lots of other superstars in the team. So probably Chiefs by 14 if I was to pick.
Yeah. There's no Nick White, by the way.
No.
You get
I'll also back the Chiefs. They have been very good this season. I know they had a slip up there against the Waratahs, but I'm sure they'll be back in form. Having Jacob back is massive. Obviously, no T-Mac, but the quality overall, I just feel is still better than it is for the Force.
Yeah,
I actually see a bit of a comfortable victory for the Chiefs on this one. Just get a sneaky feeling. I'll go with like Chiefs by 16.
Yeah, so it's an interesting one. They've got no Leroy Carter because he's injured, no D-Mac because he's injured, but you bring back Leonard Brown in the centres. He's starting now. Sean Stevenson at fullback, Narawa on the wing. So they're pretty loaded still, even with injuries.
Yeah. I see. Cortez Ratama is also starting.
Yep.
He hasn't started in a while, has he?
Did
you see who's on the bench?
We've done some very good preparation for this video.
We never do preparation.
Wallace the TT's back. Come on.
Yeah, bro. I just saw it. I was like, there's no way.
Okay, so I changed my mind. Wallace the TT to come on and score a hat trick in 10 minutes. And that man's the best player I've ever seen.
Bet some money on Wallace the TT breaking Tizano's record by the end of the season.
with 5 games to go.
Yeah. No, he'll make the playoffs, so that's fine.
Yeah, true.
Okay, Jake, you're also backing the Chiefs?
Yeah, I'm going back the Chiefs. Don't think there's much to say on this. Apparently, what I'm reading on Instagram, there's a good crowd already selling out in Waikato, whatever it is. Oh, it's not in Waikato, is it? But wherever it is. So
Mount Maunganui and Tauranga.
Yeah, so that's nice. And yeah, I'll go for a Chiefs win with that home support.
Okay. Now we've got the colours. The Reds versus the Blues. Big one. The Dark Horses. I said I'll back the Reds in every single game. The Blues obviously pulled a close one with the Crusaders. Crusaders sneaking out the line last weekend. Reds at home. I'm going to back my boys, as always. I haven't even seen their lineup. Fraser McRae's playing, so the Reds are winning.
Yeah, the only one that's out is Harry Wilson, whereas the Blues have no Caleb Clark, no Bowden Barrett. Oh no, Barrett's on the bench. My bad. But
they've got a Moxelayer with 1 foot in Japan already.
Yeah, no Papali'i. No
Rico Iani with 1 foot in Ireland already.
Did you talk about that?
No, we haven't spoken about Rico Iani or Moxelayer.
Oh, should we talk about that after this game?
We'll do it afterwards, maybe.
Okay. I think the Reds will take this. I think I'm backing a good crowd in the sunny Suncorp, and a strong, Reds win over the Blues.
Yeah, it was no secret.
A strong one.
A strong one, Casual.
How much is a strong one?
15, 20 points.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, it's no secret.
If you're correct with this, you might be a guru. Holy shit. 15 to 20 points.
It's no secret. I've said in the past videos, I very much dislike the Blues. They're my least favorite team.
No, but that's just biasness against them.
It's a little bit. So, okay, unbiased opinion, Reds by 100.
Yes.
Aiden as the deepest hatred for the Blues that you could ever describe.
They've played 3 good games this year, and 2 of them were against my team. It's bullshit. I don't like it. Why are they going to
there was no need to raise your voice at us.
Sorry. I apologize to you and the fans. Give me the Reds by... I do think the Reds will actually win. They're actually really strong at home. They've looked really dangerous this year. And obviously, even without Harry Wilson, Fraser McRae back in action. Lovely to see. That guy's a menace. Give me the Reds by 12.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same train as you with that one. It's too long now that we've said, okay, the Blues, it's finally time to wake up. The Reds have been good. They're in the top 4 at the moment. A victory like this one would give them a massive boost of confidence to kind of... I'm not sure how it works. Is it the top 4 that gets home playoff games?
It's like 3rd v 6th, isn't it? And then there's another third, and I can't remember. This stupid best loser system. Why got it so complicated, Aiden?
A victory like this would be a victory for them would be absolutely massive. So I'll back the Reds. I think it's going to be a bit closer because the Blues haven't really gotten smashed this season. That's the thing that's kind of given me a bit of hope when it comes to the Blues. Because you don't see them getting dismantled with 20 points. They're just not getting over the line. So I'm thinking it's one of those cases again. Give me the Reds by like 7 or 8 points, and then we move.
Yeah.
That's the Friday games, right?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, the most fun team to watch this far.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Moana Pasifika taking on the Drua. It screams game of the weekend.
Fireworks.
It just screams must-watch TV. Nice and early doors in the morning. Jake, who are we backing?
Moana at home. They've been good, haven't they? Up in North Harbour. I can only see a Moana Pasifika victory.
It feels strange to see these two teams kind of being last on the table with the way that they've played. Like, in terms of what our expectations were and how they've played, how they've narrowly lost games or the performances that they've put up. It's almost sad to see them in 10th and 11th. It feels like they should be up a bit higher, Aiden. What's your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I mean, the early season really slowed them down. I think they got both teams, both the Drua and Moana Pasifika, were very unfortunate with a few decisions not going their way in games that they probably should have won by a couple of points rather than lost by a couple of points. And then obviously that really compounds in the later part of the season. But we've really seen a step up, especially from Moana Pasifika in some of the big games. Obviously getting wins over the Crusaders was massive, although they did get a little bit manhandled by the Brumbies last week. So whereas the Drua sort of done the opposite, they had a few poor games and then got a good win over the Waratahs at home.
They were in not their usual home stadium, to be fair, to Moana last week.
Yeah, they were in Pukekohe.
Yeah, not their usual, but like even some rubbish other New Zealand teams like the Hurricanes are only 3 points ahead, so it's not that big a gap from 7th to 11th.
That's dirty, Jake.
No.
You know when the other guy's quiet after a comment like that, and he just does with his tongue, that he's keeping a lot of fiery fury inside of him.
Yeah,
why is Pellegrini on the bench? Why is Julian Surveyor on the bench?
I don't know. Pellegrini's been so much better than Garden Bishop. I was glad when he left the Hurricanes. I feel bad for Moana Pasifika that he's starting 10 when Pellegrini's been so excellent. But, yeah.
Okay. So all three of us back in Moana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like it. We've agreed with everything.
Well,
I'm pretty sure we'll agree on this one as well. We've got the Highlanders taking on the Crusaders. Aiden, we know you hate the Crusaders.
Not as much as the Blues.
No, but you still hate them. Like,
but they were so rubbish last year that like my feelings for them had simmered down a bit. Like when they were winning everything, it's like, yeah, oh my God, piss off.
Okay, well, the Blues are having a season like the Crusaders had last season.
Yeah, but I like that because I can laugh at them. They're below us. They take our players and then they finish worse than us. So take that, Blues. Whereas the Crusaders are, they were rubbish last year, genuinely dreadful. And this year they've been excellent. So it's a big turnaround. But they're up against everyone's second or third favorite team in the comp, the Highlanders. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Severies, Marcus Springer, Will Jordan, you know the damage that they did against the Reds? I think it was or the Force, yeah. 8 tries between the three of them, back as the pairing, David Avili.
9
jersey. It's just silly. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's a bit scary. Like, I feel a bit sad for the Islanders. I'm not going to write off my own team, but unfortunately, they're getting whacked. I'm sorry. Like the Islanders, they started off the season nicely, and then it's just not worked out. As per usual. I'm thinking like Crusaders by 25.
Yeah, maybe. Well, no, not that much. I think a bit less than that because the Highlanders do all right sometimes. I feel like when they're playing at home, there's like a good half, and then the other half doesn't matter first or second. They just sort of blow it. Like they need to have like an 80-minute performance here, and they'll have a good shot beating the Crusaders. But I think the Crusaders are looking good. I think last year they were just done harshly by a lot of injuries and stuff. But I think this year looking way better, and I think they'll get this done.
Aiden, am I mistaken, or was Scott Barrett injured for quite a while, and this is like his first game back, or was he back?
No, he was back against the Hurricanes, and played really well. Immediately, he got a bunch of hate online for being rubbish, and then the game after, he has like a man of the match performance. So people just need to hate on him more often because he was ridiculously good against the Hurricanes. Why always against us? It's pissing me off this season. Being a Hurricanes fan is really hard.
Go on, get that hate for the Crusaders back, Aiden.
Fucking Crusaders and Blues, man. God damn it. Just pick another team to wallop. If you wallop the Highlanders, I'd feel bad because it's the Highlanders, but at least it's not us.
Yeah. Okay. So how much are you backing the Crusaders by?
Slightly closer than expected. I think it'll be I think there'll be a gap in the game, and then the Crusaders will take their foot off the gas and let the Highlanders making it closer than it should be.
But they've done that a couple of times this season.
Yeah, so I'm
going
going
to closer than it should have.
Let's give me Crusaders by 8. Crusaders by 8.
Ooh,
But should be 18.
yeah.
A
couple of future opportunities.
Yeah, we're on to my third most hated team.
No. I wanna say something. Why have we got a Kiwi derby here when the Waratahs, arguably the biggest Australian team, I think, by following, are not playing a game in Anzac round? Would this not be a sensible time to play one of these two New Zealand teams? Personally,
Yeah, I don't know how if it's picked at the start of the season, if it's random, or I think it might be done off like previous years' games and buys. But like the Reds and the Blues last year were in an Anzac round. I don't know if any of the other ones were matchups for Anzac round. Obviously, Moana Pasifika and Fiji and Drua is kind of irrelevant for Anzac, but all the other ones trans-Tasman. So at least we'll get 3 of the games being Anzac round. Might get another special jersey.
I just thought it would have done involved every Aussie team and rested one of the Kiwi ones, but I don't know. Anyway, you want to talk about your measly 8th or 9th place team, do you?
But in 7th, so thank you very much.
Sorry, way better.
Yeah, much better. The team above us, we beat by 50. Our points difference puts us in 3rd, 4th.
Oh, that's what a trophy.
But other than that, we're a bit rubbish.
But your points put you in 7th.
Yeah. Unfortunately, being a Hurricanes fan this year, it's really helped grow my patience, and I've realised I don't have any.
So that was actually a little thank you note to the Hurricanes.
It's being a Hurricanes fan, a bit of a whirlwind.
The issue is, as we've come off a game we should have beaten the Force, we were the better team. I will say now, I'm going to say it once and then I'll never mention it again. That was useless refereeing, especially the scrums. It was diabolical to watch. I almost broke my computer. That's it. I'm done. We had a draw. We should have won. Move on. We're now playing the Hurricanes bogey team. This is the team that the Hurricanes never win against. We always lose against the Brumbies.
Is there a team you do beat?
Not at the moment, bro.
Not at the moment. Fuck off. Last year, we were top of the table, but we still lost to the Brumbies. The Brumbies are notoriously, throughout at least the years I've been watching Super Rugby, a team that we have found difficult to beat. But this will be the time. This will be it.
So you won't find it difficult to beat them this time?
It'll still be difficult, but I think we'll do it.
Let's look at the lineups.
Ruben Love at 10.
By the way, Jake, quickly to you. Len Ikitau signing for Exeter. Yep. Massive signing. Because if I'm not mistaken, he'll be in the top paid as well already. Obviously, he's a sensational player, so I'm not surprised by it at all. You happy about that? Like the Prem's still getting that type of pool?
What do you mean top 8, sorry?
Paid.
Not
paid.
Top paid.
Oh, yeah. It's like 400,000 something. Yeah, I mean, great signing for Exeter. I mean, Tom Hooper, also at the Brumbies, is going over as well. So, I think
where's he going to? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he's going to Exeter as well.
Is this also just on a sabbatical deal? Do you guys know?
Tom Hooper is permanent. Ikitau is sabbatical.
Okay.
Yeah, great signs for Exeter. They're not actually as bad a team as their sort of position lies. They've got a great forward pack, and they do need to beef up the backs, and this will help them greatly. Yeah,
because they were sensational last season. Exeter. I was really surprised by the way that they played and everything. Something just went wrong this season, but I mean, if you have a centre pairing of Henry Slade, who's got the keys to the city out there in Exeter, combining with Len Ikitau, does Henry play on the inside?
No, he plays everywhere really, but he usually plays outside. He's been playing outside centre last few weeks, but he's had to cover 10. He's been all over the place this season.
Do you reckon he'll just move to inside to make space for? Well, to be fair, Len Ikitau plays inside centre as well every now and again.
I'll be saying Ikitau is more likely to play inside personally, but I don't know.
Anyways, back to my Hurricanes. Ruben Love at 10. Riley Higgins back from injury. Huge win. Even bigger win. My boy Billy Proctor is starting at 13. The best, most potential centre in New Zealand, I think. A centre with the most potential, rather. Kenny Naholo on the wing again. Nani Punivai on the wing. Peter Laka, Dipsy Karifi, Brad Shields. That's all good stuff. But they are coming up against a pretty strong team in the Brumbies.
Do you reckon this is a high-scoring game, Aiden?
No. Brumbies' defense is really good.
So do we put in players in our fantasy just for tackling points?
I still think there'll be like line breaks and stuff, but I think there'll be lots of scramble defense. So you get lots of line break and line break assists. Like I've got Billy Proctor straight in my fantasy team. I saw him for 20 minutes against the Force, and he looked like the best.
Sensational.
He looked like the best player in the world. Like I just immediately was like, yes. So
yeah, he made Jordi Barrett good.
Yeah, who that Irish fella that plays outside Jordi Barrett now is nothing compared to Billy Proctor.
Yeah.
What's his name? Ring something.
Oh, I just got a red card, right, man. Anyway. I'm looking forward to this.
Red card, man.
This will be a much higher level than the URC. This battle we're going to see on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to some high, entertaining rugby. Aiden, Hurricanes. Tell me where they're both most going to get the sort of, where they're going to excel over the Brumbies.
I think the Brumbies are particularly weak, not so much in straight up defense. When it's offset play, I think they're one of the best defensive teams in the comp. I think they're the best team in the comp at the rolling maul. It's like a tail holder's time. Brumbies and rolling maul, they're always going to score. They're super well set. I think the key for the Hurricanes, who are a less set piece oriented team, is to be able to break them apart in the broken play. So I think that's winning the kick battle. Cam Roigard has been exceptional with his boot this year. I think he's been working on it because he's kicking it higher and further.
More
injured, I believe.
Again, I feel like there's a big gap or big difference in the front rows. I think the Brumbies have a pretty good upper hand in there.
I think the hookers, I agree, but I think Tavita Mafaleo's class and Pasaleo Tosi's an All Black, and he's 100.
I know, but like James Slipper, I think is class. I think Alan Alatua is very underrated as a scrummager, and Billy Pollard has been sensational.
Yeah, I agree with everything you've just said.
If you added Tyrell Lomax in there, okay, well I know Tossi's playing there, but if you added the likes of a Tyrell Lomax and you added a Safwa Moore, I think that would have made a massive difference for you.
Lomax and Numia are on the bench, so they're going to play. It's just
bomb squad.
They obviously have looked, because I think it's smart to play them off the bench, because if you look at the Brumbies scoring habits in the past few games, they bring on Billy Pollard. They bring on Billy Pollard at about 40 minutes, and they score all their rolling maul tries in the second half. So bringing on your big, strong, powerful props in the second half is, I guess, their plan to try and stop some of those rolling maul tries.
By the sounds of it, maybe Tizano should go to the Brumbies next year if he wants to beat his own try-scoring record and get on the back of some of those mauls. But you talk a lot about mauls, Aiden. It's not like the back three for the Brumbies hasn't been firing though recently.
Yeah.
Tool, right, starting. That's lethal.
Yeah, I think, again, they're brilliant on attack. I think, as I said just before, I think the key area where I don't think they're quite as good as some of the other back threes in the comp, even the Hurricanes included, is their kicking game isn't as strong as, say, the likes of the Crusaders back three, the Blues back three when Bowden Barrett's playing at least. Even the Highlanders have had a really good kicking game. Whereas I just think the Brumbies, they prefer to run it more, which is obviously a style. Yeah. But if we can kick them out of position.
Thing is, Aiden, at the start of the season, we spoke about the Brumbies. They really had a slow start to the season, or at least it felt like that. But they've been quietly going on their business. They're finding themselves in third spot after we haven't really given them all the credit that they deserve. Like, they've been good this season. Like, only losing 3 games. The last one that I can remember was the loss that they had against the Waratahs, and that was just kind of like the one-off.
Yeah, I mean, the Brumbies have been the best Aussie team in the comp for many years now, and they're just showing their class again and again. It'll be the thing for the Brumbies is, can they get past the semi-final? Can they get into a final? Because that's the thing they've been missing out on in the past few years.
Yeah. Well, my little underdog prediction was that there's going to be an Aussie team in the final. So hopefully it's the Reds, because I called them as the underdogs, but Okay. Now the predictions, and this is going to be the first one that we actually all disagree on. Jake, what are you backing? No, because you'll just want to upset Aiden. I'll leave you to upset him a bit later. Aiden, what's your prediction?
Hurricanes in a close match because it's going to be tough to win away, especially against the Brumbies, who I've said are our bogey team. So give me Hurricanes by. I mean, I really want a bonus point, but I don't think we'll get it. So give me Hurricanes by 5.
Hurricanes by 5. I'm going Brumbies by 4. Home ground advantage. As you said, they've got the little history over you. I think they've been doing their business quietly. Hurricanes haven't been that convincing all season. I think it's going to be a bang of a game, though. I just feel a couple of massive feats, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of argy-bargy in this game. I love a bit of argy-bargy, by the way. I wish there could be fists thrown. But yeah, give me the Brumbies by 4 points. Jake, are you going to upset Aiden, or are you finally going to give him something?
I'm going to upset him. I'm going to say a narrow Brumbies victory as well. Again, I think home advantage is massive, and they've been good this year, the Brumbies. So yeah, go Brumbies.
Okay, that brings us to the end of it, people. Please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. We do appreciate you guys.
Do you want to talk about Iwani or today or not? Just asking. We're not fast.
Please do go hit the first link in the bio to join the Discord as well that we've set up. It will be lovely to have you all there. Give us your opinions on the videos, on the opinions that we put out there, and be active in the comment section. Tell us what you guys think. Jake, you've just shown it to absolutely no one. Remember, the screen's inverted. Tell us what you think about Stephen Donald's comments. Tell us what you think about our ridiculous Super Rugby stuff. We will see you next time. I didn't even kick Jake off. The guy just got upset. Bye-bye.
Bye.